So today what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about files and IOs. So files and IOs. So let us go to C drive. Let us go to C drive. In C drive, AWS folder, files folder, lab 17 folder, my personal folder, oops, packages, etc. folders are there. But I want to create a new lab folder. Is there a new lab folder here? So new lab folder is not available. So I want to create new lab folder inside C drive. So in Java, when we use this location, you need to give absolute location. Absolute means from the root. What is the root here? C drive. So C drive, inside C drive, new lab folder, inside new lab folder, files hyphen txt dot files hyphen example dot txt. So these are the things we need to create. One folder should I create? One folder or directory I want to create, and one file I want to create. Create file. So what is the file name? Files hyphen example dot txt. So if I want to create a folder, in Java, first we need to create an object of file. So file class represents a folder or file. File represents a folder. You can represent a folder with file class object. Along with the folder, you can also refer folder. So we create a file. Sorry, this is a file. We create a file for folder and we create a file for file also. Both. If you want to create a real file, you need to create a file class object. If you want to create real folder, you need to use file class object. File class object refers to a file or a folder. File or a folder. If I want to create a folder, I need to create a file class object. If I want to create a file, then create a file class object. So we create file class object to create a folder or a file. And the method we use for creating a folder, method we use for creating a folder is mkdir. It is one folder. Mkdirs for multiple folders which are parent and child, So mkdir is to create what? A folder. Create a folder. Create mkdirs is for what? Create multiple folders. Create folders. To create folders, we are using mkdirs. Okay. Now I want to find out whether a folder is existing or not. Folder is existing or not. If a folder new lab is present in C drive or not. So exists is a method to tell whether a folder is present or not. Exist is a method to tell if a folder is exists or not. If a folder is exists or not. Folder present or not. Exists, it is exists, not exist. Exists. Then we use to check whether file exists or not. File present or not. If there is a file, present or not. If there is a folder present or not, if you want to check, you need to use exists folder. You need to use exist folder. I want to create a file. I want to create a file. So to create a file, the method is create new file. So what we will do with this create new file? We create file. Create file. So we create a file using create new file. Using what? Using create new file. So mkdir is for creating folder. Create new file is to create a file. To check whether a folder is present or not, it is exists. To check whether file is present or not, exists is the method. Exists is a method we need to execute and check. Okay. So next one, delete. I want to delete a folder. I want to delete a folder. So delete is a method to delete a folder. Again, delete is the method to delete a file. So both delete a folder and file. Delete folder and delete a file. Delete folder, delete file. Next, delete folder, delete file. Then we have what other things we have? Yesterday we have seen. Hmm? And the writing code, kada? Writing code into file, reading code from the file. So that is what we discussed. Okay. So I will make a note of this and so what I will do is first, this is the file explorer. Okay, here we note it as file explorer. This is file explorer. This is file explorer. And here we want to create a folder where inside a C drive. So what we do is new one. New one is a folder. For example, new one is a folder. New one is a folder. In a Java program, this is Java program. In Java program, I want to create a new folder means first I need to create file object, file class object. File object I need to create. File new one is equal and I need to give the name of the file or a folder inside double quotes. Inside double quotes, new one. Where is this new one? Inside C drive. So C colon 2 backward slashes new one. So this is going to refer one folder. This is a software object. It is a file class object. But to create this folder, we need to use new one dot mkdir. So when you use new one dot mkdir, what it is going to do is it is going to create the file. It is going to create the folder. Now you want to create a file. So I want to create a file inside new one folder. So file, every file and folder, we need to use one variable, file variable. So new file of, so inside this new file, what we do is we are going to store a file C colon C colon backward slash new one. Inside new one folder, a dot txt. Inside new folder, a dot txt. A dot txt. I want to create a dot txt file. I want to create a dot txt file inside new one folder. So I am creating first software object, that is a file class object. Now I want to create a file. If I want to create a file, what I need to do is new2 dot create new file method. So it is going to create a new file. So here a folder gets created, here a file gets created. A folder gets created and a file gets created. So what you need to remember is, if you want to create one folder, you need to use one file class object. File class object O1. So this is a file class object. I'll say F1. F1. F1 is referring to the new one folder. If you want to create a file, you can use F2. F2 is what you can create for creating a new folder, that is new2. New2. Right? So you need to understand, if you want to create one folder, you need to create a file class object. So remember, when you write something into a file or a file, that is called as output. From program to file. Program to file. So I'll take an example. Let's say there is a file which is welcome.txt. It is welcome.txt. Welcome.txt. There is a file welcome.txt. Inside this welcome.txt, you want to write some content. So what you need to do is, first you need to create a file class object. File F3. This is the object we need to create. File F3 is equal to new file of welcome.txt. Welcome.txt. This is welcome.txt. Now you want to write some content. You want to write content into the file. So is writing content into the file is the input or output? What is it? Output or input? Writing something in file. Output. Reading something from file. Output or input? Input. Reading is input, writing is output. So what we need to do is file output stream. There is a class called file output stream. Output stream. So what is this used? This is used for writing content into the file. Writing content into the file. So file input stream. File input stream. So the file input stream is used to read in content from the file. So from file to program, it is input. From program to file, it is output. From writing content into the file is output. Reading content from the file is output. Sorry, input is input. So input and output, there are two types of streams. There are two types of streams. There are two types of streams. One is input. One is input stream. Another one is output stream. One is input stream. Another one is output stream. One is input stream, another one is output stream. So both are called as streams. Both are called as streams. What is a stream? What is a stream? Stream is nothing but a flow of data. Stream is nothing but a flow of data. That data, whether you are reading from the file, whether you are writing into the file. Okay, this is called as streams. This is called as streams. So this is called as stream. So stream is two types, input stream, output stream. Right, in this, there are some things to be noted. This streams works in two types. Streams again works in two types. One is byte stream, byte input stream, byte input stream, byte input stream. Byte input stream. One is byte input stream. Another one is byte output stream, input stream and output stream. Byte output stream. Okay. So for characters, there are some character streams. Character streams. To store data using characters. Here we are storing data in bytes. Here we are storing into characters. So file reader. This is called as file reader. This is called as file writer. This is file reader and this is file writer. So one is byte stream. Okay. This one is byte stream. And this one is also a byte stream. So here file reader is the character stream. Here file writer is a character stream. Okay. Input stream again two types. One is byte stream, another one is character stream. Output stream is again divided byte stream and character stream. So let us use both input streams to create file and to write the content inside the file. So remember this always, when you want to create a file and write content into the file, you need to understand this very important. This is the real file. You want to create a real file. The file name is hello.txt. Hello dot txt. Now we want to read or write. For example, I want to write content into the hello.txt. If I want to write, is it input or output? Input or output? Output. Right. So what we need to do is we need to create a file object. File, right. We need to create a file object. First, we need to create a file object. So the file object, using this object, we can create a file. We can create a file. So create a file object first. Now this file should be connected. The file should be connected with output or input stream, whether we want to read or write. If it is read, it is input. If it is write, it is output. So we need to use file output stream to write. So we create file output stream. File output stream. This is a file output stream class to create file output stream object. So file output stream object should be created. Now on the file output stream, we are going to call the method file output stream object. File output stream object dot write. To write what we need to do? To write what we need to do? We need to use byte array. We need to pass byte array. We need to pass byte array. When you pass byte array, that data will be written into the file output stream. That file output stream is connected to the file object. That file object is connected to the real file. That this is a real file. This is the Java file class object. File class object. This is file output stream object. File output stream object. File output stream class object. Okay. Now what is this method? This is write method. Write method is the method of file output stream class. So what we can write? Write bytes. Bytes data. Bytes data. Write bytes data into a file output stream. That file output stream will write the content into the file object. That file object will write the content into the real file. Real file. So to write this, we need to get bytes. So how to convert string into bytes? How to convert string into bytes? For example, if I write welcome, I want to convert this into bytes. So there is a method. This is a string. This is a string. String dot get bytes. String dot get bytes. That is a method. What it is going to give? It is going to give byte array. So byte b array is equal to get bytes. So what we are doing, we are converting string data into bytes data. So that bytes data we need to pass here in the write method. When you pass in the write method, it is going to write this content into the file output stream object, and that file output stream object is going to write content into the file class object. That file class object is creating the content into the hello.txt file. So this is the process we need to do for writing content into the file. I want to read content from the file. I want to read content from the file. So if I want to read content from the file, first it is going to be hello.txt. Hello.txt, that is the file we are creating. In this hello.txt, we have some content. That content is welcome. That content is welcome. I want to read this content using Java program and print. So this is a real file. This is a real object. So for accessing real object, what you need to do is you need to create a file class object. What you need to create? File class object. We create a file class object. So this is a Java object for the real world file. So now you create this file object and we are reading the data from the file, or we are writing data into the file. We are reading. Reading means input or output. Reading is input. So what we are going to do is we are going to use file input stream. File input stream object. File input stream object is used to read content from the file. Read content from the file. So what is the method we need to read? What is the method we need to use for reading? What is the method? What is the method? What is the method for reading? We convert the array using the method. I'm asking method name to write content. So read content. Read all bytes. Read all bytes is the method we use for reading. Read all bytes. What was the read all sites? This method, what it is going to do, it is going to return all the data into byte array. What array? Byte B array is equal to read all bytes. So it is going to do what? It is going to read all the file content into the byte array. It is a byte array. Now what we need to do, we need to read each byte, and we need to print the data. So byte, if it is printed, it is going to print all the ASCII codes. So now we need to convert that into character. So byte to character we need to convert. So what we need to use? For loop. For using conversion, we need to use typecasting. So we are typecasting B of 0. B of 0 into character. Character C is equal to character of B of 0. So what it is doing, it is converting byte value into character. Now this character you can write into the file. So what is the right method? What is the read method? Sorry, print. We are printing system.out.println. System.out.println of that character. No, otherwise each character will be in the each line. So what we do is we just print. Without println, we just print. Now repeat this task with loop. Repeat this task with loop. So every character from the byte array is converted into character and it is printing. So this is how you can print the value of byte array. Sirisha and Monica, are you clear up to now? So the meeting going to end. Please use the same meeting link to connect. Once it is ended, I will again launch the same meeting link. You can connect to that meeting.